Thanks for everyone for participating. We There has been a lot of request, and in terms of understanding what exactly the differentiation in terms of opportunities available. So this short webinar is to actually sort of clear the air. What exactly is a type of opportunity we are looking into the logistics. Uh, so what we did is we thought of creating an awareness session, and precisely this session is more focusing on the people who wanted to start their career here, and also try to create a career glide path which sort of elevate them into one profession and where they can look forward to an exciting career ahead. So I think when it comes to logistics, one of the fundamental question is what exactly is this logistics job? Because everybody is having this a lot of misinterpretation, whether it's a white collar job or a blue collar job. So I thought I will just take a moment and explain people what exactly it is. But before that, before we go ahead, I think we really need to understand what exactly is a white collar and what exactly is a blue collar. So in the industrial revolution, when a lot of labor intensive jobs created, there are people required to do intensive physical stuff, and that's where this classical word of blue collar was born, where you physically do a job, you physically involved in doing a particular operation at the ground zero level. And whereas there are other jobs which plays as an enabler in order to ensure the operational part of the job has been taken care. That is a white collar job, right? So I'll quickly move on. What I also wanted to sort of educate our viewers today is what is that we wanted to understand today. One, in terms of expectation settings, the freshers doesn't know what exactly are the type of jobs available to them. At the same time, how do we differentiate? How can one be smart in starting their career as into the world of logistics? And that's where precisely uh, also grab an understanding what kind of a career growth path one can have. So through this Logiscope Institute, we created a simple program where a webinar which can address this, and I'll quickly take you through that. What exactly this means, right? Before we talk about what are the type of opportunities which is available, then I think what is very important is one should know the focus. What are the focus elements which serves as a basic foundational principles for anybody to start their career in logistics, right? So I would always recommend, if you are a fresher, whether you are an engineering grad or you are a non-engineering grad, before you hit this, before the 6 months of your final graduation, I would urge each one of you to sort of invest yourself in sort of developing a basic skills. We call those as fundamentals, the foundational skills. Basic communication. Nobody is expecting to blow out a class, or I would say a fab vocabulary, or demonstrating an extreme abilities. I think what we are talking about is a very basic communication, using a neutral communication, a basic sentence construction, and then displaying the ability to learn and grow. I think the precursor for this to happen for anybody, irrespective of logistics or any other industry, is the self interest. If you don't invest in yourself, if you don't put self interest, you won't be able to create that first layer of your brick, which actually forms as a first step for you to enter in any industry and make a career out there, right? So we will just move on. I think what is important is also to understand the blue collar jobs, right? So we wanted to first differentiate what exactly is a blue collar. We also have an exciting video where we will show you. Uh, One of the things is, if you take a blue collar job, there are guys. In this picture, you see in logistics, the guys are actually racking the cargo. The box, what they carry, is called as a pallet. Each box has a certain dimensions and weight. So basically, these guys are the guys who actually lift and rack the cargo. And then we also have people who actually doing the operations, moving the containers, and taking the lifting the container and putting it into a vessel. The ships which carries the container cargo. We call them as vessels, right? So this is one of the certain very hardcore jobs, which is very, very physical intensive. Then we have the truckers who actually move the cargo containers from point A to point B. This is pretty large in whole supply chain distribution, and then we have a lot of other people who are involved, whether it's a foreman who actually involved in craning and stabilizing the ship. We call this is ship berthing. Basically any ship which actually comes near the port, it needs a parking space, just like when you drive into your shopping mall, you need a parking lot to park your car, right? Just like that. So a lot of ground force is involved. These are the examples of the ground force. And without this ground force, the operations on the land side is impossible in logistics. And that's why these jobs are called as blue collar jobs. These are pretty physical, labor intensive. And just to summarize, right, what exactly this is, so these are the units which are actually involved. You have people working in the manufacturing units, whether it's metal product or fast moving goods like foods or beverages, or you take any cosmetics. And then you have loaders, you have truckers, then you have warehouse workers, then you have a lot of people who are actually involved in the side operations, land side operations. So this is in nutshell for a layman, for somebody who don't know about logistics, to understand what exactly is the blue collar job. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pause for a minute. We're going to share a video which talks about what exactly this industry is into, before we actually talk about an IT and non-IT related logistics, job opportunities available to an individual. So let me quickly stop the share here. Let me quickly take you to one video. It beautifully explains about a simple container automation, a simple air terminal, and then it will also give you an opportunity to know what kind of work is involved in this particular field of logistics. So here we go. Give me a second. So if you actually see, like, this actually video talks about how the packaging starts, how it is transported into a warehouse. So basically, this guy is actually getting the goods, delivered into a particular warehouse, right? And this is basically an airline activity. This is the air cargo activity. There is a packages of cargo which is actually getting into the airline, and then it is actually stored into a warehouse there. So this is typically when you fly in an airline, you will see all these activities outside. Besides what you see from the upload and the download of cargo, you will actually, this is a warehouse which is there. So you can actually see the number of people who are involved. These are the blue collar job guys who are actually involved, ensuring the customers are communicated and the cargo is stored safely, because each and every activity has its own criticality, right? Everybody should be proficient in their jobs. Any single mistake can cost a lot of money to the company, to the service provider, to the end customer. And that's why there is so much of documentation is involved. You can see there is a cargo which is getting scanned, and there is a chip which is involved, and then there is a document created for each of the pallets, and then there is a document. So the document, what is you see is air freight document basically. So there is a lot of activities which goes in here, and that's how an air cargo is basically moves from point A to point B. And Delta Airlines is one of the air cargo carriers. And so what we're going to do is we actually going to do we're going to play one more video about how exactly this operations happens at a terminal. If you see, there is a lot of automation nowadays happening. Technology is actually shaking hands with this unorganized industry structure. While I showed you a crane operator, here you are seeing robot. Basically, it's an automated crane operation. You see, this is fabulous, right? The containers are now picked up by the robo crane operators, and then it is actually presented into the terminal. This is a kind of automation. This is a kind of white collar job opportunities this industry is creating. Besides the technological stint, I think there is a lot of opportunities which will be coming up, because this industry is now focusing a lot of interest into the technology side of it, and hence a lot of inside office opportunities, where inside selling, inside automation, inside documentation, a lot of activities which is coming up here, right? And I think what could be interesting is anybody who actually has a very basic knowledge will have a hard time to actually grab a right career path into this industry. And that is why it is extremely important that one actually spend a significant time of interest, and also they invest in themselves in terms of learning the subject matter. And that's why it is so important that one understands first a classification about what is a white collar and what is a blue collar, right? Now now that you have some sort of an understanding, we also wanted to understand what is the other side of this logistics world, right? What when we say white collar, what exactly white collar means? It it does not mean that white collar means like you just operate. I think it is more about process. Each and every industry they are focusing on the processes, and hence logistics also has a different type of processes. I will take you that in a bit. The first is, any business, like any business, the first thing which comes is the sales process. In the sales process, people don't have to be in front of the customers discussing the actual sale. They can actually sell remotely, because the digital marketing in logistics is taking so much of shape nowadays. Anybody who understands the product really well, understand who is the purchaser of that freight services, if they establish a good connection through a phone call or through an email, there is a possibility of making a great selling. And that's what precisely this industry is offering today in terms of white collar jobs. And another interesting thing when I say direct sales and indirect sales is, there are a lot of inside sales activities which are now happening. Let me give you an example. A company which is operating in, let's say, northern part of Europe, let's take a country Denmark as an example. They would have their sales function in India. It is not like a typical BPO where you sit and keep typing and it is more about a very complexity of the very own business, and people one demonstrating the ability of how to conduct a sale or how to do a remote documentation. The customer who's actually locally in Denmark, it does not matter to them from where the document of the shipping is coming, as long as the document is right. And I think that's why there is a lot of opportunities which India is creating. A market like India, Philippines, Manila is a very front runner in terms of communication as well as non-voice, when it comes to logistics. And besides that, there is a lot of potential which the technology companies are investing, and India continues to be one of the favorite spots. And that's why it is becoming so interesting for people who have just completed their job, completed their graduation, and who wanted to start a career. If you see, these are the streams of opportunities we have in the white collar. You have the documentation. It is not a simple data entry work at all. People cannot simply learn this art in just couple of days and become production ready for any company. The art of documentation in field of logistics, remember, there is a manufacturing unit which actually stuff the cargo into the warehouse, and there is a trucking company which picks up the cargo. It takes it to the freight forwarder. The freight forwarder consolidates all the cargo in one container. Then the freight forwarder truck it to the port. The port has the customs. Then after the custom clearance, it actually goes into the vessel. This is just at the origin side. A similar activities it takes in the destination side when the vessel sails to a particular point B, and then the cargo is ready to be offloaded. So there are so many parties involved. The documentation has to be spot on. It has to be 100% accurate. And that's why there's a lot of complexity. And that's why in this industry, many of the people who simply cannot join a company, be a documentation specialist, because it calls in for a great effort, knowing the domain clearly and understanding each and every integral element of what is that particular shipment or what is that particular piece of freight forwarding itself. So that's why it is very important. First, we recognize what kind of avenues we have. We have ocean, air, NVO, sales support, building, invoice, you name it. There are plenty of opportunities. And how these opportunities can transpire into one as a career growth path, I think that's what we're going to see, right? Everybody, I think this is one of the important slide we have put in. Everybody, when they join a company, they always wanted to grow, which is a good thing. But just having the aspiration is not enough, right? See, it's very simple. I want each one of us to, think about it very carefully. While there is an aspiration to grow, but are we fueling that aspiration with the right I would say equipness, correct? Are we equipping ourselves with right knowledge, expertise for us to grow and grow up the ladder and play a better role? Of course, better role, better controls, better exposure, better salary, everything comes into the picture, right? So I think that is why it is so important that we focus on all this rally points. The first rally point is, can anybody can actually grow. The second rally point is where you have to upgrade by playing a different roles, taking courses. I always recommend that let's be very clear as to what we wanted to do in this industry, because if you're not clear, you will basically end up joining a company, spending 5 years there, and then decide, oh, this is not the right industry for me. Let me go. Can I get a job in IT? No, this is how everybody's thinking. So just to ensure, what are the skills needed for us to build a successful career in logistics? Have self-awareness first, understand and sort of improve your communication, a very basic communication, understand what is influence, because communication is nothing but you not only communicating, you are influencing others, and then also learning agility. Be very accurate, pick up the course and the program what you want to, and then go for it. But remember one thing, if you go to any institute or any program, they will teach you, they will put their complete effort to ensure that you are well equipped with the knowledge and you're ready for your career. But you as a person should put that interest in there and ensure that it's a success for you, right? And so one of the few of the recommendations we wanted to give is, take a proper training package, a package which can actually not only offer you a training, can also give you a good career start, can give you a good assurance that there is a job. At the same time, you also have an ability to kickstart your career in I would say, in an industry where you can probably settle down. Don't do the mistakes of jumping from one company to another in just 1 year or two, because you will get a better salary, 10%, 15%, but after 4 years, you will just turn around and see that you have not learned anything. You have been on the same job. The industry has stopped offering you the more salary, right? And that's why these certifications are very important. And then I also wanted to take this opportunity, because like when we were like talking and partnering with this company, Cyan, they have this program. Go take a look at it. They are offering good courses. They have partnered with many companies. They have actually you know uh, give intense training. One of the things which I personally like is they use the real life documentation, real life examples, actual work guided procedures through which one understands the hands-on experience, rather just a training, but the hands-on experience as to how to get a proper, I would say, induction into this industry. The online assessment, that I think the way they graduate people, I think they are doing a pretty good job. So I would urge, take a good certification program, start your career. And so with this, we are coming to an end, but I wanted you to remember one thing: always interest comes first, and then the awareness, and then you put your whole effort into any program which you take. And of course, you will get a great exposure into this world of logistics. It's not only limited in India, there are plenty of opportunities abroad, but it's all depends on you, how you actually take it over. So all the best. This is Shan signing off. Good luck. Goodbye. Thank you.